that stretch around the bend there
must have been beautiful.
Where the arena is. The old house is still there.
Really?
Yeah, and the barn is there, but that's about what's left his ranch.
Oh my God!
But that's the basics of how I got to Hollywood.
And then you did much more than Pinocchio's voice. You were acting in many movies around the same time. What are some of the movies that you were in around the time you were in Pinocchio?
Oh, I haven't read my bio in a long time.
Well, there was one with Jimmy Stewart that comes to mind.
Well, I did two with Jimmy Stewart, and they were close together. There was Destry Rides Again. I made that about the same year that I was working on Pinocchio. And then after that, I worked in Mr. Smith Goes to Washington. And
it's amazing to be sitting in Hollywood and
thank you.
Talk about Jimmy Stewart and stuff.
I'm the one that should thank you because I got to work with him. And,
how was
Gene
that?
Arthur.
How were they to work with? How was Jimmy Stewart?
It's amazing when you work with the people and as professional as they are. This whole stuff of being high-handed and aloof and drunkards and stuff like that. These people were professionals, and they were there to work and do their job, and they were great at it. And I was blessed to be able to work with them.
I'm sure, yeah. Oh boy, what a run of work! And around the same time, then you got a call, obviously, from Walt Disney's office. So your mom did, and tell us that story. Like, how did you get this job? What was your first trip to the studio, and what was your first meeting with Walt Disney about?
Well, I don't remember, or I wasn't privy to all the things that went on beforehand. I just know that I was called for an interview, a voice interview. And the story goes that they started testing adults that could carry the burden of the show. And they were imitating little boys. And Walt says, no, I want a real little boy. So then they got a Megalyn Kitty call out, and there was about 200 of us that hit the first interview and did a voice test. And then it narrowed down to a dozen or so, and then it narrowed down to just two. And one of them was Sam McKim, the Imagineer.
Yeah, the great Disney artist.
Yes.
You know that map of Disneyland that we all got when we were kids? Sam McKim did that map.
Well, Sam was number 2 on the list.
Really?
He and I tested together, not simultaneously, but the same day.
Yeah.
I got the job of Pinocchio, and he got a job that lasted for 40 years.
It's not fair somehow. It's not fair.
But we still were friends. We worked on a couple of pictures together.
Really? Yeah, he was a great child actor, as were you. That's amazing. And now you, tell me about your first meeting with Walt Disney. What was that like?
I didn't know who he was. I just know he was a big, tall man and very nice. And he bent over and shook my hand. And I said, well, if the guy will bend over to me, he must be pretty good.
I think so. I think he liked kids. At least that's what I hear. So that's good. And then you went to the studio to have lunch with him, didn't you, with your mom?
Well, that was at the end. I got a call, or my mother got a call for us to come out to have lunch with Walt Disney at the Hyperion studio. And that's where he asked me the famous question, would you like to do the voice of Pinocchio? And in my mind, I'm thinking, well, what the heck do you think I'm here for? I didn't say that. I didn't say that. I said, oh boy, yeah, I really want to do that now. I was acting. No, he was very nice about that. And then from then on, it was all work.
Now I'm curious, did you record by yourself, or did you have other actors with you when you recorded?
I don't think I could have done it by myself.
Right.
We worked together and worked off of each other.
So you had Cliff Edwards in the room with you, and some
I had him across the mic from me.
Oh, exciting!
He had his script in his hand, I had mine in my hand, and we're looking at each other, nose to nose. And
wow. Pinocchio
same way with Walter Catlett.
Yeah.
Gideon, I didn't work too much with Gideon.
Right. Gideon didn't say much in the movie.
He had some dialogue.
Yeah.
Hiccup.
There was a hiccup, and for you trivia buffs out there, it was, I think, Mel Blanc did
Mel
that
Blanc,
hiccup.
they brought him in.
The only time Mel
Wonderful.
Blanc, the man of 1,000 voices, worked for Disney, and he does one hiccup in Pinocchio.
And there was Evelyn Venable. She was a real nice lady. We just finished doing a hop-along casting picture together, and then we end up working together 2-3 weeks later in Walt Disney Studio.
You also did some, didn't they film you for some reference for the film, I heard? Didn't they film you and put you in a costume to study?
Yeah, there was a
some
couple of times that the animators got buffaloed about the animation and the action and how to fit it in, particularly the skippity dance down the Yellow Brick Road.
Right.
That was,
I think that was another movie.
yeah, I think so. They had a bunch of wizards flying around. Yeah, they dressed us up in costume and we performed that scene.
Yeah, it's amazing. That was such a great study tool for the animators.
But the thing that is, they were running a camera on all of the actors, particularly me, all the time when I was doing script, because they get a little bitty camera and all it would do would photograph my nose, my lips, and my chin. Because that's where all the motion is in your voice.
Oh, interesting. Yeah.
And that got a little lost that word.
Yeah. Well, that
Discerning.
exactly.
No.
Exactly.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, your mouth, the study of your face. We know what you're talking about. Yeah.
It was difficult for me to concentrate on what I was supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
Because that camera going right in front of me.
It must be a little annoying, a little distracting. And when you were making the movie, did you have, and you were a kid, 10 years old or so, did you have any idea that...
I was older than that.
How old were you when you made it?
11.
11, okay. Good. I'm sorry. No, I thought I knew. Yeah, thank you. You know, I have to say this is a really funny story because Dick almost didn't make it here tonight. He was on jury duty all week long. And I thought to myself, the poor defendant that looks up into the jury box and sees Pinocchio. Oh my God. But we're so glad you could make it. But I was going to ask you if you did, if you knew at the time what the movie was going to be, or if you knew that it would be this kind of legacy 70 years later.
No, it was just a job. It was a fun job. I really didn't like working indoors all the time. That was the only drawback to the working Disney Studios.
Right.
I liked the westerns and being outdoors and chasing around and hiding out in the hills and stuff like that. And there was no place for me to hide in the studio.
And in your later career, you were on television, had your own series, and was a stunt writer, I hear. I mean, you're an outside kind of guy.
Yeah, I was that down to that.